The quaint town of Plainfield, Wisconsin was a place where nothing much ever happened. That illusion of peace was shattered on a cold November day in 1957. Bernice Warden, the kindly owner of the local hardware store, vanished without a trace. Her last known contact was with a solitary, peculiar man named Ed Gein. Little did anyone suspect that this seemingly unremarkable individual harbored secrets so dark they would shock the world. The authorities, following the thread of Bernice's last known whereabouts, found themselves at the doorstep of Ed Gein's ramshackle farmhouse on the outskirts of town. The house stood isolated and neglected, a grim sentinel amidst the vast emptiness of the Wisconsin landscape. As the sun began to set, casting long, eerie shadows across the property, the sheriff and his deputies approached the dwelling, unaware that they were about to step into a nightmare. The air grew thick with the stench of decay as they crossed the threshold. Inside, the house was a chaotic mess, littered with trash and shrouded in a perpetual twilight. But something far more sinister lurked within those darkened rooms, something that would expose the depths of human depravity and forever etch Ed Gein's name in the annals of criminal history. The deputies, their flashlights cutting through the gloom, began their grim search. What they uncovered was a scene straight out of a horror movie, a macabre collection that defied comprehension. Human bones, fashioned into grotesque ornaments, adorned the furniture. Skulls leered from the shelves. Lampshades and chair seats were fashioned from human skin. In the kitchen they found a heart. It was Bernice Warden's. The gruesome discovery confirmed their worst fears. Ed Gein had not only killed Bernice Warden, but he had desecrated her body in ways that defied imagination. Further investigation revealed the full extent of Gein's madness. He hadn't just targeted Bernice. For years he had been robbing graves, exhuming the bodies of recently deceased women. He would then take these corpses back to his farmhouse, where he would skin them, dismember them, and transform their remains into his own twisted versions of furniture, clothing, and household items. The driving force behind Gein's horrific acts was a potent cocktail of mental illness and morbid fascination. He was obsessed with his mother, Augusta, a domineering and deeply religious woman who had instilled in him a warped view of the world. After her death, Gein retreated further into his own twisted reality, attempting to recreate her presence through his gruesome creations. His most disturbing creation was a woman's suit, a full-body suit made from the skins of his victims. Gein admitted to wearing the suit, to assuming the identity of his female victims, as if trying to crawl inside their skin and become them. His actions were not merely the result of a desire for trophies, they were driven by a profound and deeply disturbed need to connect with his victims on a physical and psychological level, to possess them utterly. Gein's crimes, however, were not limited to the dead. He confessed to the murders of two women, Bernice Warden and a local tavern owner named Mary Hogan. Both women had been shot and dismembered, their bodies subjected to the same grotesque rituals as his exhumed victims. It became horrifyingly clear that Gein had crossed a line, graduating from grave robber to full-fledged killer. Ed Gein was deemed unfit to stand trial and was committed to a mental institution where he would spend the rest of his days. His farmhouse, the scene of such unimaginable horrors, was burned to the ground as if the town itself wanted to erase the stain of his crimes. However, the legacy of Ed Gein would prove impossible to erase. The details of his crimes, so shocking and depraved, seeped into the public consciousness, inspiring a generation of horror writers and filmmakers. The character of Norman Bates in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, with his mummified mother and warped sense of identity, was heavily based on Ed Gein. The gruesome handiwork of Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Buffalo Bill's skin-stitched suit in The Silence of the Lambs also owe a debt to the real-life horrors uncovered in that Wisconsin farmhouse. Ed Gein, the quiet man from Plainfield, may have died behind the walls of an asylum, but his specter continues to haunt us. He became a chilling reminder that the darkest impulses of humanity can lurk beneath the most ordinary of exteriors, waiting for the right moment to erupt.